You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. Just a reminder, my name is Lilian Muli. If you'd like to ask any questions, please forward a note my way. Once again, given birth to the Africa Build Show. Very significant step in the journey of the China Trade Week. Allow me to appreciate the key players and strategic partners in this journey. I'd like to recognize our VIPs, but remember, all of you are VIPs today. We've got exhibitors here that will be showcasing amazing products as well as skill sets right here at the China Trade Week. But I'd like to introduce and recognize some of our strategic partners. Our chief guest, who we are of course expecting, being the Cabinet Secretary Lee Kinyanjui, who we will be expecting today. But aside from that, just some of the strategic partners in today's very significant milestone for the China Trade Week. Eunice Polman, she's here with us. She is the co-founder, Women in Technology and Innovation in Global Exhibitions, Inc., a man whose dedication and leadership have been instrumental in building bridges between businesses and nations. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Edwin Masivo, let's appreciate him.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name, as you've heard, is Edwin Masivo. I am the country director of Global Exhibitions, Inc., which is the Africa subsidiary for MIE Groups. As your host for the next 3 days, allow me to read a welcome address as we prepare for the guests who are coming after me. The chief guest who we were expecting, the CS for Trade and Investment, the Honorable Lee Kinyanjui, the Women Rights Advisor to the President, I know she's on her way, Honorable Harriet Chigai, the Principal Secretary, State Department of MSMEs Development, Honorable Susan Mangeni, also on her way, she's coming. The Chair, Micro and Small Enterprises Authority, James Mureu, the Chair, Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industries, Nairobi Chapter, Dr. James Mwaura, the CEO, Confederation Organization of East Africa of Micro and Small Enterprises, Richard Muteti, our partners, Women in STEM Africa Summit, Eunice and Joyce. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure and honor to welcome all of you to the 10th edition of the China Trade Week. We started this journey in the year 2015. This year's event is co-located with the 3rd edition of the Africa Build Show and the 3rd edition of Women in STEM Summit. As I said earlier, my name is Edwin Masivo, and I am the Country Director of Global Exhibitions. I am delighted to stand before you as we celebrate this exciting and dynamic event that is celebrating its 10th anniversary. Your presence here today, ladies and gentlemen, is greatly appreciated as it underscores the importance of this gathering. I want to acknowledge the following people who have made this event possible. Allow me to extend a warm welcome and heartfelt thanks to all our esteemed exhibitors and sponsors who have walked this journey with us for the last 10 years. Allow me also to extend my warm and heartfelt thanks to members of our dedicated organizing teams. Our teams are based in 3 different offices across the globe, the biggest office being in China. We have another team based in Dubai and the local team here in Kenya. Their hard work and commitment has brought this show to where it is today. Allow me also to extend my thanks to our distinguished guests who are here today and industry leaders who have joined us and will be sharing the insights in the course of this ceremony. Also allow me to extend my thanks to all the attendees for taking the time to be here and engage with the latest innovations and trends in the various industries that are represented by the exhibitors. The purpose of this show, ladies and gentlemen, is to primarily connect businesses that want to do trade. We have brought together over 100 exhibitors from different countries looking to connect, to trade, and to learn from each other. Over the next 3 days, ladies and gentlemen, they will showcase cutting-edge products and services and foster networking opportunities and facilitate knowledge exchange within the industries. This event, ladies and gentlemen, serves as a platform for innovation, for collaboration, and growth. And we are here today, ladies and gentlemen, we are here today ready to share and explore these new possibilities together. The event has different highlights, as our host Lillian had said earlier. We have a very comprehensive program lined up over the next 3 days. The first one is the exhibition, where we are going to see the latest product, services, and technologies that are featured from different countries that are being showcased. We will have keynote speeches from the different guests. We will have panel discussions after the opening ceremony, where there will be engaging sessions on current trends, challenges, opportunities in the different fields. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that each part of the 3-day program will inspire, will inform, and provide valuable insights and connections. Today, we celebrate not only the innovations and advancements in our industries represented, but also the spirit of collaboration and community. Let us take this moment to appreciate contributions and efforts of all participants who make this trade show a success. As we enjoy this trade show, let us also look forward to the future which is the next 10 years. The last 10 years has been a great milestone. Let us continue to support and encourage innovation, foster strong partnerships, and work together to drive our industry forward. The potential for growth and success is immense when we collaborate and share our expertise. As I conclude, I want to thank all of you once again for being here. Your support and your participation are what make events like this possible and successful. Let's make the most of this opportunity to learn, to connect, and explore the future. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of the 3 days. Santeni.
Access to quality higher education across Africa. Before I introduce her, remember vocational training, which China is known to have been sponsoring here in Kenya. The acquisition of a new language, such as the Chinese language, offers you opportunities outside Kenya. And the vocational training here as well offers you opportunities not only in Kenya, but also outside, whether it is in China or with any other partners that are working with the China Trade Week vision. So very significant to hear what UNICAF Kenya will be telling us today about the milestones now that we're celebrating 10 years of China Trade Week. Please help me welcome Winnie Rachel. Winnie, please be upstanding and join us. Let's appreciate her.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm super excited to stand before you today. This being our second year in partnering with this particular summit, and it's been an interesting journey because of this unique angle that we have taken in terms of making sure that when you talk about tech and education, those two things cannot be separated. And so, good morning to all the distinguished guests and all protocol that have been established before me. It's a great privilege to stand before you. I bring with me greetings from our CEO, Dr. Nikos Nicolaou. Last year, while at this summit, we were able to sign an MOU with JEX. This particular MOU was a very interesting MOU because as we stand to speak about women in STEM in Africa, this is a very important conversation because Africa's progress is actually directly linked to how we nurture female talent in science and technology, and so engineering and also mathematics. Education being something that we have always spoken about, not as a privilege but as a right, and so at UNICAF we are very intentional in ensuring that each and every person and individual is actually able to access education. But how do we do that? At UNICAF we are committed to ensure that women all over have access to flexible, affordable, and globally recognized higher education, and especially in the STEM fields. Bearing in mind that accessibility is very, one of the key things that makes people not to upskill. And so UNICAF comes in with a very interesting online platform called the Virtual Learning Environment that we have invested in to ensure that women all over the world can be able to access education. But apart from that, it comes also with a scholarship pegged with it. And so this is the most dynamic space. Last year, when we were at this summit, as we standing today, 6 people were awarded scholarship from the last particular event that we had, and I think that's a great milestone. And so this year, as we come in again, we would wish to invite you to visit us at the tent. We have an exhibition tent right there. You'll find our team there. They're going to guide you on how you can be able to access these particular scholarships. And the interesting bit is that a negotiated 80% scholarship to all the STEM courses to women has been already signed up for you all. And so as the men in this house standing today supporting women, we are here as UNICAF to ensure that education is not just something that we speak about, but we also ensure that you get it right where you are. So we are also expanding these collaborations with institutions and grassroots. We are working with very many organizations, the NGOs. UNHCR just signed an MOU with us recently to see access to education to the refugees, because we believe at the end of the day, education is not something that is a privilege, it is a right. And so being part of this particular conference, I'm very, very excited to hear and listen through the panels and talks that are going to go around in terms of women in STEM and Africa Summit. So thank you so much. We look forward to interacting with you. Please make a point of visiting us and accessing these scholarships. They are meant for you and they are real. Thank you.
Winnie Rachel, let's appreciate her. Thank you so much for your insights on UNICAF's contribution to this very Rakiambati from Safaricom as she walks us through Safaricom's very, very strong passion for women in tech. Thank you so much, Lillian.
Good morning, all. Some energy, please. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm privileged to stand here after another Lillian, who we always watch in news, but we rarely get to meet in person. And it's also an honor to be invited here, just to speak to you a little bit about women in STEM and also how technology is also empowering women in our community, or can be used to empower women in our community, either to do business better, to connect with other businesses, or to be empowered with information, amongst other things. And when I had the UNICAF country manager mention that 80% they're offering scholarships to women, there was not even a single clap from the crowd. And I was wondering, aren't you excited about that? No, 80% scholarship or full scholarship means a lot for Africa and for Kenya and for that girl child, because education now is becoming, it's a must-have. Yeah? So Ian, I hope you queued my slides, and if you didn't queue, I'll just speak through them. I don't know if Ian managed to queue my slides. I had a few stories to tell. Any luck? No? Okay. So, as techies, we are always ready. So my name is Lillian Kiambati. I'm in technology division. I'm an engineer by profession. I did electrical and electronics engineering at University of Nairobi. And I have worked in Safaricom for the last 23 years. So we were here when Safaricom was being set up. And when the devices were only for calls and SMS. Sometimes when you tell the young people that, they look at you and like, wow, how are you surviving? So one of the key things that I wanted to see is, the key things I wanted to discuss is some of the priorities we need to consider as Africa to support either women and Africa as a large. And one of them is infrastructure development, and that is connecting the unconnected and the underconnected. We still have 6 million Kenyans who have no access to the mobile services, and people in Nairobi are more privileged than those in the village. And why do we need this? Yeah? Remember, for those of us who are here a while back, how was life without M-Pesa? For instance, you had to send people in a matatu to take an envelope back to your mother in the village. How was marketing before? Yeah? You had to have a shop somewhere to be able to run that shop. How are people doing business today? Online shops, online marketing. Yeah? We have things powered by M-Shwari. Yeah? There's this lady who was saying how with 500 in the morning, she goes to Marikiti, buys things worth 500, borrows from M-Shwari with 500 shillings, goes, buys her wares, goes back and sells, and in the evening, she pays back her M-Shwari and keeps the profit. Yeah? And how is that done? It's powered by technology. And that's how we are coming in to change the future of this world. And then not to mention also need for also connected grid and also renewable energy. I had beautiful pictures to show, but Ian decided it won't happen, but I'll just speak through it. And also, as we speak about mobile connectivity, we also need to speak about grid connectivity and also use of renewable energy to connect also the underconnected. And I'll just tell you a short story about how we did mobile connectivity in Faza Island in Lamu. And what happened is that when we were setting up the base station, somebody thought, okay, now we are connecting these people to network, but how will they charge their phones? Why? Because they do not have electricity in their homes. So what did we do? We connected, we put sockets outside the base station where the village could come in and power their devices. So as you think about technology, you have to think about everything holistically. And also, she's talked about promoting digital and literacy skills in schools. We really need to drive this. Computers for school is like a book now. It's like if you go to a school without a computer, it's like going to school without a book. Are we there yet? No, we are not yet there. And what can we do as a community? Mine is to challenge you in your own different ways. Go back to your community, even if it is either one computer a year, or push organizations to push your computers in your community. Also, for those in government, let's drive those policies that just ensure that every child has access to a computer, because that changes your world. During my time, I touched my first computer when I joined first year at the University of Nairobi. When I tell the younger people that, they tell me, Lillian, no, it can't be true. It's true. Because in my village, you only had one person with one computer, and he could not even allow you to touch it. Yeah? So I saw and touched, and Windows came in when we were still in university. So now we need to drive that change so that we can be able now to bridge that gap, because through that, we are able now to connect communities better, empower our girls, and empower our women through education. And then, of course, I had mentioned about affordable devices. And I just wanted to recognize one of the girls who support women in terms of literacy, digital literacy, and that is Akira Chicks. Akira Chicks is set up along Gong Road. And what do? They train girls from the informal sector, Kibra and all, on digital literacy, how to code, how to do web development, and it is making a big difference. And the moment we do that, what happens to that girl? She will come and work in Safaricom and develop my Safaricom app because it's being developed locally for us. We're not going to wait for people from outside to develop the solutions for us. Yeah? Then the other bit is, of course, need for affordability and support for startups and inclusivity in community engagement. Because I saw some women who are doing banking for their chama money, and initially they used to put it in a metallic box and lock it. Yeah? And what are those women doing now? They have stopped putting their money in the box, and they are now putting it on Zidi for Safaricom. And what does it do? Not only does it keep their money safe, but their money grows. I had that picture of the women holding the metallic box. Then, of course, ensuring that we create solutions that are suitable for Africans. I've seen the MA Fund, the MA Trust Fund, has been able to build a very beautiful website to connect the Maasai women to other markets by showcasing in the website some beautiful pictures about the beadwork. Yeah? So you can imagine now the reachability is global now. It's no longer local. Because before you had to come, either you go to Masai Mara to see those beads physically, to buy them physically. Now people can order online. And that is what technology is doing for us, to even empower women. Yeah? And lastly, about technology also, we need to make it favorable and ethical for us women. We also need to have proper regulatory frameworks to just make sure that it works for us. And how do we do this? Of course, as a government, we need to have strong consumer protection. Yeah, because a lot of us are doing business on e-commerce, using digital payments, and just be able to make sure that it's a safe space for women. Then when you look at data privacy, we also need to make sure that that is protected well within the community and it works for us, because we want to create even a safer environment, either for women to trade in and also for women to feel safe to be in, and a platform for women to be safe. Then now you've all heard the buzzword about AI development and machine learning and all that. And let me tell you what. Do you know the first facial recognition application that was created could not recognize an African face? Did you know that? And why? Because Africans had been left out. Of course, we're trying hard to follow up. But we always are, we're a bit of late entrants, but we are catching up. So now as this AI comes into our world, can we be part of it so that we create something that is fit for us, fit for our women, fit for our children, so that it's not somebody from China who's coming to create products for us. Sindo? So that's why I'm saying, like, because we have a lot of women in tech here, we need to aggressively play in that space so that we can make it a safe space for us to be in, build products and services that we can connect with. And finally, just to let you know a little bit about what we do to empower women in technology in Safaricom. What we have done, we have created 6 programs in our organization, and I'm privileged to work for an organization that supports women empowerment, and especially women in technology, because just to give you an example, in my class, we were only 4 ladies in a class of 60. Yeah? When I got to the organization, we were like 8%. And we said we need to do something about it. And what did we do? We said we have to start from the grassroots all the way to the professional level. So we set up a program that targets children, where we invite children into Safaricom and do robotics play, show them how to create robots so that they can just have that curiosity. Then we have high school outreach. Here we reach out to 1 girls' high school in every county. And we've gone as far as Marsabit and Moyale to preach the world of technology. And we have been able to have a lot of converts. The same way you preach the gospel, as we preach the gospel of women in technology. We have been able to turn around a number of girls. We have Technovation Challenge, where we teach girls how to develop apps that solve problems in their environments. And this technology takes the girls all the way to Silicon Valley. And last year, we were able to take some girls to Silicon Valley because they had created an app of how to distribute water in Kibra using an app, like Uberized water in Kibra. And it won an award at Silicon Valley. Then campus outreach, we bring the students to us. And then for WIT Academy, we pick in interns to work with us in our environment, because we feel once we do that, we'll be able now to have a pipeline to fill in. And then also we have our networking forum, which has also brought me here. And through those initiatives, we have been able to grow our numbers from that 8% I was talking about to 26% now. And we are going now to 40%. We're targeting 40%. And with that, I'm really privileged to be here just to encourage other women as part of African women in STEM to join us. It is a good space to be in, and together we can be able to make a big difference in our country and build our country together. Thank you very much.
Barriers that stand between women and tech in Africa. I'm a human interest reporter, and so I find myself in far-flung areas in the country. And just going back to something Lillian said about beadwork with the Maasai women, when we're talking about the barriers that exist that stand as a gap between women and tech. For instance, I was in Samburu, in a very, very far-flung village there, and I wanted to buy these beautiful Maasai beads. And when I bought these beads from this Maasai lady, about 34 years old, I asked her, what's your number? Where do I pay the M-Pesa to? And she said, utalipa mzee, meaning the number that she has for her business belongs to her husband. And so already you see a gap there in the sense that not only does she not have a phone, she doesn't have access to bundles, she doesn't have access to M-Pesa. So as you're paying that money, you're literally paying it to her husband. Nothing wrong with that, but you can see how cultural barriers also stand as a serious challenge in terms of women actually embracing tech and what it can do for something as simple as their businesses and their economic power. As a woman, giving her power empowers giving her money empowers the entire family, from feeding her children to bathing her children in terms of just buying something as simple as clothes to even buying that small little painkiller for her little baby. So as we proceed, as you can see with the tech space, ladies and gentlemen, as we shine a spotlight on innovation and inclusion in tech, it is my honor to welcome a leader who exemplifies both. She's a trailblazer in science, technology, and leadership. Please join me in welcoming the CEO and co-founder of STEM, Women in STEM Africa, I beg your pardon, Joyce Muthoni Mushiri. Very beautiful, by the way, so gentlemen, but I think she's taken. A round of applause for Joyce Muthoni Mushiri.
Thank you so much, Lillian. And thank you all for being here. I want to thank Lillian for what you've said. You have echoed a lot of what WITIA stands for. That is Women in Technology and Innovation Africa. And we are here to really work on empowering our women and young girls to take up more roles in STEM fields and in leadership. We really want to see that silos are dissolved across genders, borders, and so many other areas economically, so that we can have more women take up leadership roles in STEM fields. So with that, I will say good morning, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, partners, innovators, and change makers. All the protocols that were mentioned before are observed. It is such a joy and a privilege to welcome you to this year's Women in STEM Summit. On behalf of Women in Technology and Innovation Africa, I extend a heartfelt gratitude for your presence and participation in what promises to be a transformative and catalytic gathering. We gather today under a bold and timely theme, which is borderless innovation. We are pioneering global technology solutions for Africa's challenges. As you so rightly mentioned earlier, there are so many things that we need to see happening in Africa for Africans. This summit is more than an event. It is a declaration. that African women are not only ready to solve complex problems, but are already doing so with brilliance, resilience, and innovation. Across Kenya and the continent, women are breaking barriers and building the future. I can give you a few examples of some women we admire. Number one is Dr. Gladys Ngetich. She's a Kenyan aerospace engineer and was named a Forbes Africa 30 Under 30 and is developing heat-resistant materials for jet engines at Oxford University. Another lady we admire is called Esther Kimani. She's a computer scientist and engineer. She won the Africa Prize for Engineering Innovation in 2024 for developing a solar-powered AI pest and disease detection device. The system identifies agricultural threats within 5 seconds, alerts farmers via SMS with intervention advice, and can increase yields by 30 to 40% while reducing losses. Nelly Chaboy, the 2022 CNN Hero of the Year, left her software engineering job in the US to build computer labs in rural Kenya through her nonprofit TechLit Africa, transforming digital literacy for thousands of students. These are not outliers. They are the evidence that when women are given opportunity and tools, they build solutions that scale and systems that serve. Yet we must acknowledge that for every Nelly, Gladys, or Esther, there are countless young girls with equal potential who still lack access to quality STEM education, mentorship, and funding. That's why this summit and your presence here is so critical. At Whittier, we exist to close these gaps, from smart libraries in underserved schools to our mentorship networks to international partnerships. We are building an ecosystem where African girls can dream in code and women can lead in labs and boardrooms. Over the next few days, you'll meet scientists, tech founders, educators, and policymakers, all pushing the boundaries of what is possible. You'll hear ideas that cross borders, disciplines, and generations. And you'll find opportunities, not just to learn, but to collaborate and to create. So as we open this summit, I want to invite you with these 3 calls to action. Number 1, I'd like to ask you all to connect intentionally. Build relationships that go beyond this room. As you've heard, we are co-located with China Trade Week Kenya, and there are so many exhibitors here who have so much to share and show you. And there's so many opportunities to build relationships and partnerships. Number 2, I want to ask you to champion boldly. Use your platforms to elevate women in STEM. Number 3, I'll ask you to innovate fearlessly. The world needs what Africa can offer, and Africa needs what you can bring. To our young women here, this is your moment. You are not the leaders of tomorrow, you are the leaders of now. To our partners and allies, thank you for investing in women, not as a box to tick, but as a force to drive Africa forward. And to every woman here who has ever been the only one in the room, may this summit remind you that you are not alone, and you are never meant to be. Together, let's pioneer the solutions Africa and the world has been waiting for. Welcome to the Women in STEM Summit 2025. Let's innovate. Let the innovation begin. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Joyce, for that very powerful statement there. Women are taking the lead in terms of tech, and we are very, very proud that that is happening in the year 2025. We've come from very far. Next, the Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises Organization of East Africa, and is also a tireless champion of innovation and empowerment at the SME level. Mr. Richard Muteti, if you're with us, please be upstanding. Thank you. Here he is. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Lillian. Good morning. Good morning once again. My name is Richard Muteti. As you have heard, I'm the CEO of the Confederation of Micro and Small Enterprises, Organization of the East Africa Community. At the community, we have 8 countries, and each country has an MSME Confederation chapter, and I bring you greetings from the 8 countries. Have you received them? All right, thank you very much. So, distinguished guests, organizers of the 10th China Trade Week, Kenya, honored delegates, exhibitors, MSME representatives, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm truly honored to join you today at this milestone celebration of the 10th anniversary of the China Trade Week, Kenya. I also manage the East Africa Community MSME trade fairs, and I'm very excited to be here, and I'm happy for this invitation by the organizers. As you will later know, Kenya is going to host the 25th EAC MSC's trade fairs, and we are looking forward to partner with you on the same. Let me begin by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to the organizers for this invitation and for recognizing the vital role of the MSMEs that the MSMEs play in shaping the future of our economies. And you are right, Madam Lillian, MSMEs are the backbone of the economy in Kenya and actually indeed in the world. Like, for example, in Kenya, MSMEs are the greatest employers. They employ 86% of all the total employees. MSMEs provide around 34% of the GDP, and actually, they are the backbone. Over the past decade, the China Trade Week has evolved into much more than a trade exhibition. It has become a strategic bridge connecting East Africa's industrial ambitions with global innovations, markets, and partnerships. Today's gathering, with hundreds of exhibitors that I have seen here, and a rich mix of stakeholders, is a testament to the power of partnerships in unlocking shared prosperity. The theme of my remarks today, this morning, is MSMEs as engines of inclusive industrial growth. This is both timely and urgent. Across Africa, micro and small enterprises account for over 80% of businesses and more than half of all employment in Africa. In East Africa, they form the backbone of our economies, not only as drivers of job creation and income generation, but also as catalysts of local value addition, skills development, and resilient supply chains. Yet, for MSMEs to truly fuel inclusive industrialization, 3 things must happen. 1, the MSMEs need access. Access must meet opportunity. MSMEs require access to affordable finance, as had been rightly put earlier, to reliable infrastructure, to digital tools, and to competitive markets. Trade fairs like CTW are essential in closing that gap. And we thank you so much, the organizers, for this, by bringing together global suppliers, investors, and policymakers under one roof. Number 2, MSMEs require policy. Policy must support innovation. Governments and development partners must go beyond rhetoric. We need clear frameworks that simplify business registration, that reduce regulatory burdens, and prioritize MSME participation in procurement and trade policies. Industrial transformation will not be inclusive unless MSMEs are placed at the heart of national strategies. 3, collaboration must drive scale. We must move from fragmentation to ecosystems, where MSMEs, corporates, academia, and government work together. This is especially important as we harness opportunities under the African Continental Free Trade Area. With the right networks and partnerships, small enterprises can grow beyond borders. To the organizers, I'm very happy to inform you that some of our members are exhibiting at the exhibition hall. We thank you so much for this opportunity that is showcasing our products and services. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud of the role of my association the Confederation of Micro and Small Enterprises Organization of East Africa, in partnership with regional institutions, has played in championing those ideals through platforms like the EAC, MSMEs Trade Fairs. And I'm happy that the chairman of Micro and Small Enterprises Authority is here. Mr. Chairman, you're doing a great job in supporting the MSMEs in this country. Thank you very much. Capacity building. Oh, you wanted to clap for the chairman? It's true. Thank you. Thank you. Capacity building initiatives and regional policy advocacy, that's where we are. I'm reminded that the population of the EAC community is now nearing around 340 million. I'm also reminded that the players of the MSMEs out of that 340 million account to around 264 million. So it's quite a number and a force to reckon with. We must keep pushing, because when MSMEs grow, families thrive, communities transform, economies diversify, and industrialization becomes not just a plan on paper, but a lived reality for millions. As we mark this 10th edition of China Trade Week, I urge all of us, whether you are an exhibitor, policymaker, and I'm seeing several policymakers here, investor, and I'm seeing several, or an MSME entrepreneur, and there are many, to use this platform to forge practical partnerships that will deliver inclusive, green, and sustainable industrial growth across our region. The Confederation of Micro and Small Enterprises Organization of East Africa looks forward to working with you for the benefit of the micro and small entrepreneurs of the region. Let us work together, not just to celebrate trade, but to build prosperity from the ground upwards. Thank you. I wish you a successful and impactful China Trade Week. Thank you very much.
Asante sana, Dr. Richard Muteti, or Mr. Richard Muteti. Many thanks for your very valuable sentiments on that topic. We have big plans as the China Trade Week, and of course as the organizers, on behalf of them, I know they have grand plans in terms of trade ties and trade relationships, but how to foster a favorable business environment is a very critical question that we all have at the back of our minds. A favorable business environment. We all know what's been happening in the country over the last few weeks, and we are concerned as business partners, as investors. So how to foster a favorable business environment, how to make the needs of business persons known, and how to engage in a conducive environment at the end of the day that is beneficial for the investor as well as the client. I'd like now to welcome on stage Dr. James Maura. He's the Chairman, Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Nairobi County. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, guests, business leaders, and friends of trade. Good morning. I know it's a cold morning, but it's getting warmer as we go by. And after yesterday's running and all that, I think it's a very good morning when you compare to yesterday. Is it a good morning? It's a good morning for business. It's my great pleasure today to stand before you for the 10th edition of the CTW. And with the organizers, this is my friend there, doing a good job. Mr. Masivo, doing a good job. They have been organizing this for the last 10 years. And they started before COVID, 2016. Before COVID, you were doing about 600 in on exhibition. I don't know how many we are today. I don't know how many we are today. But they have managed, give them a nice clap, they have managed to do 600, they have brought 600 people on board, 600 exhibitors to date. I think that's a big thing. It's a big one. You can imagine how many flights, how many people they brought last night with the skirmishes we had. David came in last night and everybody came in last night. Poleni signed up for yesterday. But that's what makes Nairobi different. We are resilient to change. Today is a different day, and we are happy, and we move on. I think that's why, that's what makes us the 6th best city in Africa. Do you know Nairobi is the 6th best city in Africa? And you know why? One, we are very resilient. We move on quickly. We move on very quickly. That's the first thing we do. The second one is who knows the second one? Who knows the second one? Why we are the 6th best city in Africa? Connectivity. Not yet. I want somebody to strike that, or Harriet. Why are we the 6th best city? Why are we the 6th best city in Africa? Yeah? Good infrastructure, coming closer, but not there. You need to get that one right. There's something which makes us unique. If you look at the 25 best cities in Africa, 2 of our cities are there. Mombasa is number 23rd. Nairobi is number 6. South Africa has 3 top cities. Pretoria, Cape Town, and of course number 1 is Johannesburg. But why are we the 6th? If you quickly think, narrow down to Safaricom, you'll get the answer. What did we do with Safaricom? Brilliant. What did you do with Safaricom? That's what placed us there. And that's what we need to do with the China Trade Week. That's a connectivity we need to bring. What did we do with Safaricom? I need to give a big present here. Maybe a 50K or something. Somebody who gets it. We need to know why we are unique as M-Pesa. M-Pesa has overgrown our big 5. Both in revenue, both in employment. It's employed a lot. When I look at Joyce here, I remember we went with her to Estonia and Finland. And that, when you narrow down to what that means, they're saying now, as we move by, we are the best tech country in Africa. That's where we are headed. That's why I'm looking at you, because you're in the tech world. We are the 6th, we are either number 1 or number 2, the best tech country in Africa. And that's what is making Nairobi to be the 6th. We'll be the Silicon Savannah in this country. If we finish the Konza City with Safaricom and Huawei, we will get it right. So welcome to Nairobi for all our guests, and this is where the business is going to happen. They like speeches, which I was avoiding. But this is something I need to say. So as Kenya National Chambers of Commerce, what is our role? What is our big role? Our big role is to connect business to the international arena. And how do we do that? I know Lilian was talking about the women. My sister here was talking about the women. I think if there's one thing we are getting right is to embrace our women. That's one of the tools we are using. Instead of you complaining the money was coming to Mzee, these days we give the money to the ladies to manage for us. Aren't we doing that, all the men? Aren't we doing that? Not to the men. Give me a nice clap there. Lilian, I was with Moshiri. I know that's what he's doing with you. That's what we are doing these days. We give our women money because they can account to the last cent. To the last cent. That's exactly what I do myself. When you have to grow from an MSME, when James Murray, when you're talking to the young guys and they have to grow from the very start, what is the first thing they need to learn? They need to learn something called saving. And how do you save? And you start, especially when you're a bachelor. The first thing you have to learn is how to save. It doesn't matter how much you earn, but you must save. If you're not saving, then you're not growing. You'll be waiting for charity, which hardly comes. So once you save, I don't want to explain that because there's no time, but that's the first thing they do. And then when you get married and start the real life, you have to save with your lady. Make her part of you. Make her your finance director. Hey, ladies, I didn't hear you clapping there. Make your lady the finance director. You'll always get it right. If you give her 10,000, you'll even find you have forgotten. She'll tell you, no, you have saved 20, not 10. That's our ladies. The next tool we have as business people, that's what we urge as KNCCI, is that the other tool we have is, other than taking you to the global stage, if you're not doing a business of +254, then you're not doing any business. You must do your business across the borders. That's the next thing we need to do. You have to look for what business is that you have to do to grow it outside the borders. And that's where the real change takes place. Harriet, if you're selling our tea, do you know how much income we get from that? Can you imagine how much? Like in KNCCI, we have opened up a business for the people who are in that line in China. We have an office there, which is our outlet for the tea industry. So people who want to be connected very fast and you get your dollars quickly, and we connect you to the right business, to the honest business where you're not going to lose any coin, come to KNCCI. We'll give you that connectivity. That is our serious ecosystem as we move forward. What other tool do we need to grow the business? We have the Chinese here. Chinese are known for 5 things: IT, manufacturing, infrastructure, and of course they give us their cheap money through Exim Bank. Yeah, say it's good because they don't give us conditions. Their conditions are a bit less, correct? Oh, their conditions are not as the other one. And it's easily accessible. Look at the roads they have done for the country. Did they do a good job? Who has used the expressway this morning? We all look for expressway in the morning for you to come to town. They did Thika Road. Who has used Thika Road? Which route did you use? Did you use Thika Road? Did you touch expressway? Yeah? Or you slept in Nairobi? All right. All right. You're going to, the people coming from Gong Road, that's the next thing they're going to do for us. And not when they do it for us, it will be there up to our lifetime. They've been doing for us a good job. So, Edwin Masivo, as you do this partnership on the 10th edition, you are on the right path for the country. You're on the right path. What we have done with the Chinese, and of course now in the country through the China Trade Week, and the exhibitors I've seen here. I've seen some people, I've seen some friends all the way from Ethiopia. I've seen a lot of guests here. Those of us who are in the chamber, we take you to the other arena. I know, like last year, if I tell you the countries we've taken our people, we were in Zambia in October. In November, we were in Eastern Europe, Romania, to show Kenyans what is there for you. What is there for you? What business can you do there? Through the Simba Kenya. Early this year, we were in Estonia. We have taken people to Saudi to check what is that you can do there. We had some guys going to Taiwan. We've been to China like twice. Name it. So we have been everywhere. We're just trying to expand what is that you can do. So we encourage you to join KNCCI. We bring you that connectivity. So we are basically a bridge. So when we look at our partners, make sure when you leave here, don't take 20 cards. Just strive to get just 3 or 4 and follow them up. If you take 20, you will not follow anybody. Joyce, just look for 4 cards today. Don't look for more than 4. Those 4, you follow them completely. If you see you have over 10 cards, then you're not doing it well because you'll not call anybody. You'll not follow 10 people. But if you choose 5, in every exhibition you go, you will always get it right. That's my tip for the day. And good morning, everybody.
Remember, today is all about celebrating 10 years. But aside from that, it's about strategic partnerships. China Trade Week will be partnering with players and partners who share their vision of innovation, of collaboration and progress. And therefore, I will be inviting on stage the key players and strategic partners that will be signing an MOU even as we look at the journey ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome as they come on stage to sign this binding agreement that will foster the growth of China Trade Week and the journey ahead. Whittier and Wimasomo Foundation, that is going to be represented by Dr. Clarissa Zunchin, who is the founder of Wimasomo Foundation. Also joining us here on stage will be China Trade Week and Jua Kali Association, strengthening collaboration to uplift the informal sector. Please be upstanding as you come, as we welcome you to the stage. DJ, please, if we could have some music as our guests join us here on the stage. We're also going to be joined by MIE Events and the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce Nairobi chapter, GEX as well. Please be upstanding as we prepare to sign that MOU. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's appreciate them as they make their way forward. In the interest of time, if you could make your way forward, we are trying to beat the deadline so that we can proceed to the exhibition. Please make your way to the table here. If I have called you out, Whittier and Wimasomo Foundation, China Trade Week and Jua Kali Association, MIE Events and the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, Nairobi chapter. That is Wimasomo currently signing the MOU with China Trade Week founders. Very significant step in this journey. We're also going to be having GEX next, who will proceed to do the same. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, just a brief announcement here that if you've misplaced your car keys, we had passed a note around, but if you've misplaced your car keys, please make your way to the front. We have them here. Honorable Harriet will be witnessing that, signing of that MOU. Harriet Chigai is the Women's Rights Advisor to the President, and she's also a key player in empowering women in innovation, trade, and leadership. Is Dr. Maura, and please be upstanding and join us here on the stage, as well as GEX, Mr. Masibo, as we proceed to sign yet another MOU, fostering the strategic partnerships between the China Trade Week as well as key players that will walk this journey. Dr. James Mwaura, Chairman, Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Nairobi County, and Edwin Masibo, Country Director, Global Exhibitions Inc., also signing an MOU. Again, this being a strategic partnership and very good sign in terms of the vision going forward, partners that share a common vision in terms of what China Trade Week stands for. Congratulations. He's the chairman of the MIE groups. We want to hear what the strategic vision for China and the Africa trade looks like. Let's give a round of applause to David Wang as he joins me here. And I'd like to hear if he understands any Kenyan speak. Mr. Wang, if I say to you, Mambo, how do you respond?
Mambo Jambo? No.
You say Poa.
Poa, okay.
If I say Sasa, what do you say?
Sandy Sana?
You say Fit Sana.
Thank you. Fit Sana.
All right.
Sorry. Good morning. I think we're close to noon time. We'll not take a lot of the time. Ladies and gentlemen, media friends, honorable guests. Today we are here celebrating 10th China Trade Week. I'm standing here because I remember 10 years back when I traveled to here, we decided make China Trade Week. We first choose Kenya as the first station. After our President Xi Jinping announced the Belt Road Initiative, we're the first organization say we did do something on Africa. But we have the 54 countries in Africa. Which one we should choose first? Because I remember 2003, 22 years back, when the first trip to Africa is Kenya, Nairobi. When the second trip back to Nairobi is the year of 2013, 10 years. I find the difference. From the 2003 to 2013, 10 years, big change. I see the Nairobi, great change. Because I saw the middle class, young generation growing up. So when I choose which city is my first destination, do the China Trade in Africa. So I say Nairobi. So year of the 2014, I make the report to our relative government association. They said, why Nairobi? I say, I discovered Nairobi had big change. So it's the opportunity. So we did successful year of the 2015 China Trade Week. From 2015 to the 2025, we successfully invited more than, I think my colleagues say 3,000, somebody say 4,000, somebody say 5,000. I can say it's 1,000 investors, exhibitors, traders come to this region through CTW platform. We created a lot of, I can say, we make the connection with our friend Chamber, with our SME, with our special guests from the women sector. We do a lot of the business together in the last 10 years. CTW is one of the platforms. It's not only single for exhibition platform. He's created opportunity. Nowadays, we can see in Kenya, we not only have the CTW, we are not only focused on the CTW, we are not only invite Chinese enterprises, invest come to the region. Now, CTW as one platform, already attraction, rest international investor come to the region. So followed by CTW, we created another platform called African Beauty Show. African food coming next month, August 6 to 8. We have the hotel show coming to next month. We have the mommy baby show, September. We have the December for electrical vehicle show. So all of the events coming follow with the China Trade Week because they see, approved, witness China Trade Week have successful business in Nairobi, Kenya. So rest country, international investor, they will join with our specific platform, as I say, CTW platform, ABS platform, and women in technology, and also food sector, hospitality sector, electrical vehicle sector, etc. So more and more traders, exhibitors will come to the region on the coming years, especially after the convene, because we are facing a challenge on the convene 2020 to up to 2023. We have 3 years plus. We suffered. But now it's time to recover. It's now we to make up a gap because we're on the behind. Because the rest of the world will recovered from the year of 2023. Kenya will a little slow down on the 2023, but the international investor, I think they slowly come from year of 2025. It's one of our agenda from next 10 years agenda. So we like to talk to all of the investors, attendees, visitors. Stay with us. We will take your hand to hand moving forward in the next or second 10 years. Thank you for everybody. Thank you for our partner. Thank you our friends. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Wang. Chairman, please remain here. Please remain here. We're getting into an award ceremony because on behalf of the organizers of China Trade Week, we'd like to appreciate some of the key players and the strategic partners that have walked this journey with the China Trade Week. Mr. Wang here will be giving the first award of the day to Honorable Harriet Chigai. She's the President's Advisor on Women's Rights, as well as our chief guest, Mr. James Muro, Chairperson, Micro and Small Enterprises Authority. Let's appreciate them. DJ. Our next token, you may be seated. Our next token of appreciation will be given by Edwin Masivo, Country Director, Global Exhibitions, Inc., and he will be awarding Guanchen, Guanchen, Deputy General Manager, Guizhou Broad and Glorious Exhibition Co. Limited. Please be upstanding and join us here, as well as Mr. Shi, Senior Executive, Hauhan International Exhibition Co. Limited. Congratulations and thank you very much for your support. A special applause for being part of this very instrumental and louder, guys. This lady is a big deal, trust me. So we will be starting with Winnie Rachel, Country Manager, UNICAF. There you go. Please proceed. We also would like to appreciate you this morning. Thank you very much. Eunice Coleman is the co-founder, Women in Technology and Innovation Africa. Empowering women in innovation, trade and leadership, even as China Trade Week celebrates 10 years of remarkable milestones and contribution in the Kenyan sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lillian. You guys look so bored. You know, in our office we say, for as long as a speaker is taking the podium, you clap until they arrive. So please clap for me. You must also clap for Lillian. You think it's a joke for her to stand here and entertain you for 3 hours? Mine, really, I'm truly impressed and really honored to be here this morning. I know Women in STEM, you guys have been looking for us for a long time. But I think God's timing is the best. So today it happened that I'm around and I'm happy to be here. And I'm more thrilled to see many young girls in the room. So you should clap for yourselves. Good morning once again. Until we see the smiles, we don't feel like we need to continue. Good morning once again.
Good morning.
You know, my good friend, Masivo, you should have served us tea before we come in here, or coffee. Because we are a little bit cold. Is it that chilly? Good morning once again.
Good morning.
Yeah, that's better. So, greetings to you all. Safaricom. I think Safaricom, I'm one of your, should I say, champions for free. Everywhere I go, I find Safaricom. And I'm always talking about Safaricom and the good work that you're doing. Clearly, you can see that you can never go wrong in investing in young people, because I think that's what you have done for a long time. And don't get tired, you know, just don't get tired. So for the organizers of this event, I I think you're doing a great job. A lot has been going on, but the best is when you patch up things and you see the fruition of the hard work that you've done. Masibo has been talking about this event for a long time. Now I can actually see what you have been talking about. We tried to pull something last year, but it didn't work because of Mandamano again. So you've heard from the speakers. When there's unrest, nothing moves, everything stops. And then you take a long time to recover. So I think we need to reflect within ourselves, and even from the business perspectives, what do we really need to do to entertain the young people? And I'm very happy to see many young people here, because in as much as you look the other side and say Safaricom must curate solutions, but the solutions are with ourselves. If you think there's a problem anywhere, start thinking about the solutions. Because when you start thinking about the solutions, then we are going to make the significant changes that we are looking for, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Thank you. So distinguished guests, innovators, policymakers, and development partners, private sector champions and trailblazing women and girls in STEM from across our continent, good morning again, and Karibuni Kenya for those who are coming from outside. Today, we are not gathered for another conference. I want to believe we are here to witness and amplify that which I can say is a good movement, one that affirms that Africa's future will be designed, engineered, and led by women. Remember, I was here to talk about the girl. So for the men in the room, clap for yourselves. This is quite but powerful revolution, and it is gaining unstoppable momentum, powered by women and girls at the front lines of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The theme of this year's summit, Borderless Innovation, could not be more fitting. In a world where artificial intelligence, big data, biotechnology, and digital tools are reshaping every sector, Africa must not innovate in silos, and certainly not without the full participation of our women and girls. To build a just, inclusive, and globally competitive Africa, we must innovate with intention, lead with equity, and invest in the future potential of girls and women in STEM. Let me be clear, the government of Kenya recognizes the gender parity in STEM. It is not only a matter of justice, but it is to affirm the positioning and placing of our women and girls. It is also a national development imperative. Please feel free to clap. We are proud of the strides we are making as government. Through the Ministry of Education, we have strengthened the competency-based curriculum to inspire curiosity and confidence in STEM, subjects from the earliest levels with a particular focus in girls and CBC program. New policy frameworks are institutionalizing STEM pathways in basic education with plans to scale up targeted mentorship platforms, STEM bootcamps, and innovation labs. Our flagship project, Ajira Digital Program, has trained over 1.6 million youth, including thousands of young women in digital work skills, bridging the gap between education and income generation. The TVET sector is undergoing a transformation with gender parity, now a key performance indicator. Public funding to support women's participation in science and innovation has increased significantly. Why do I say this? It is very important to know what government is doing so that we as young people plug into those spaces and be part of the team that will benefit. From where we sit, this is just not progress, it is a signal of political will and policy alignment. But let us also be candid. We must say we have challenges, and challenges persist. We have stereotypes and social norms which continue to discourage girls from pursuing STEM, especially at the point of transition from primary school to higher education. Gender bias in recruitment and promotion limits women's progress in STEM careers. Women remain underrepresented in leadership and decision-making roles, in innovation and research institutions. Access to venture capital and innovation financing for women-led tech enterprises remain limited. Gaps in mentorship and visibility hinder retention and role modeling for women in STEM. We believe these challenges can be overcome with focused funding and firm commitment and policy shift. We must integrate STEM play and problem solving into foundational learning. There will be a mentorship and role modeling framework to connect girls with STEM through digital platforms and school networks. We also laud the mentorship platforms and those who are involved in young women in coding. This is one area that we do encourage, and we encourage that everybody should actually encourage young people to participate in the digital space. We are supporting inclusive tech incubators in marker spaces, especially in undeserved counties, offering safe and stimulating spaces for girls to explore and thrive in STEM. Our office continues to champion gender budgeting in STEM financing. We call on every MDA and county government to ring-fence resources that support girls and women in science and technology. We urge the private sector to deepen investment in scholarships, internships, and job placements that intentionally target young women in tech, engineering, science, and data fields. To all policymakers, donors, investors, educators, and innovators, the message is clear. Gender inclusion in STEM is not charity. It is a strategy for smarter economies, for sustainable development, and for winning Africa. You can clap. Let us treat investment in women as core business. Let us design procurement systems, research grants, curricula, and hiring policies that dismantle biases and embed equity. And let us do this not just for women, but with them. Let us work together and incorporate the young people, the young women, into all our policy shifts and plan and strategy to develop Africa. To every young girl across our continent, whether in Mathare, whether in Kigali, Lagos, Lilongwe, this summit is for you. We see you, we believe in you, and we are building for you. Let no girl ever be told that STEM is not for her. Let no community doubt her genius. Let no system stand in her way. As a community, let us hold our children together. Let us hold our young people together. Let us stand with the young girl. Let us hear them. Let us walk the journey with them. And let us build our future. Let us be the generation that not only dreamed of change, but delivered it. Let this summit not end with applause, but begin with action. You're good students. You can clap. Let women in STEM Africa be more than a convening. Let it become a continental commitment to equity, to excellence, and to innovation that is powered by all. Not just a few, because the future is not male-dominated. It is co-authored. In that future, Africa will not only compete, Africa will lead. Thank you very much.
Harriet, thank you so much. That was fantastic.
You have to clap until I sit.
The lovely Harriet Chigai. Let's appreciate her. Very amazing insights there from the Office of the President, and we thank you so much for that. I'd like to make a few announcements as we begin this morning, getting into afternoon, and that is Mr. James Mureu, the Chairperson, Micro and Small Enterprises Authority. Karibu sana sa. Please make your way here as we get your remarks.
Thank you, Lillian, and just 5 minutes to afternoon, so it's still good morning. And it must remain a good morning. As Dr. Maura said, yesterday we could not have said a very good morning, would we have? Now this morning we can say a good morning. But I'm delighted to be here for the second year running, just to to be with the China Trade Week. Edwin has not relented visits to my office to remind me and to run programs and to make sure this has happened. But I'm delighted to be here. Specifically because I'm a businessman myself. I wear two hats, public sector and private sector. I am the chairman of the Micro and Small Enterprises Authority, which I am pushing to rename. And the renaming must happen sooner than later. In fact, I'm glad Harriet is here. We shall combine efforts to try and change the name from micro, small, useless things to emerging enterprises. How about that? Emerging enterprises, yeah? Because the micro and nano and all these small things that don't matter really worry me, that I'm the chairman of things that don't matter. I'm the chairman of things that matter, yes? And so I am really fighting to get to convince our parliamentarians to consider that. And if we succeed, rest assured, this will be the first time in the world that that sector will have received some dignity. And I want to champion that so that we are going to be championing the dignity transformation. Allow me to appreciate CTW for this event. Really, it's become a milestone for the trading community, the business community. And for me, what pleases me most is the fact that they are willing every year. And I say, you know, the singer of the song, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, is really a true manifestation of what China is doing. Around the world, people are cutting down budgets, they're cutting down expenses so that they are able to keep alive. China is blowing the tops. He's just, David has just told us, he's not just doing this one, he's doing 3 more this year. And I think he deserves a round of applause. It is also telling us that he has confidence in this country. Sometimes we in this country don't even have confidence in ourselves. Here is somebody who believes in us, and I think we want to really applaud you, David, and Edwin, and all of us for really finding time to come and share experiences from China, peer-to-peer learning, exchange of trade ideas. This would be very good. But I also want to commit to agree with the 3 women who have spoken before me here. That, and finally, even with what Harriet has just said, I sit in the sector that really deals with everybody, from very good men, very good women, to very bad men, very bad women. Now, if I look at the percentage, I can tell you women score very highly. In terms of being, and I'm saying this due respect to the men folk in this house, they are honorable. They pay their debts. They commit. When you give them 100,000 to do a certain project, they don't go and buy something else. They do that project. And they grow, they multiply. And so kudos, every man in this house. Only the men. Please, let's appreciate the women. Only the men. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think that is what really this country must be looking at. And going forward, I know that whereas we have said in the past that this country is going to be on the shoulders of men, I'm finding like our shoulders are getting very small, and we might ask the women to come and join us to hold the economy of this country. As I do so, as I say this, I make these remarks, I also want to remind the women, don't be left out. We have 2 programs at the micro and small enterprise that we are rolling out. And so I have a very special message from my minister for cooperatives and micro and small enterprises about those 2 programs. The KJET, which is the Kenya Jobs Economic Transformation Program, and the NYOTA, the National Youth Opportunity Transformation Agenda, which are being rolled out very, very soon. Be on the lookout, because we'll be training you on basic skills, and then equipping you with equipment and some resources to be able to give you. And I have no doubt, the program has not rolled out, but I know it's the women folk that will take the lead. And I'm saying this because I live with them, and I know they're doing a good job of it, yeah? Now, when you look at these opportunities, Kenyans who are here, the Chinese have come to teach us the tricks of the trade. You will see many of them. And Dr. James said, let's pick only 3 cards. Identify 1 or 2 companies that you think you want to partner. Because these opportunities are not everyday opportunities. They are rare and few. And when you come by this, I think it's good that you embrace them and ensure that you take something home. Digital transformation is something we cannot argue about. It is here to stay. It is like when Safaricom came in with technology, and you know the likes of Telcom and Kenya Power, who refused to hear the sound that was so loud, you know where they ended up. So let us not be relics of past and be eaten up by technology. I know in my growing years, there was a mzee who said, this road will not pass here over my dead body. And guess what happened? There was a funeral shortly thereafter because the road had to go. Technology has come. You either embrace it or it embraces you. Any which way, you must embrace technology. And I know there is a lot of learning to do here. I know there is a lot that we can do in terms of collaboration between the Chinese and the Kenyan companies, even to take advantage of the cordial relationship that exists between President Xi Jinping and President Ruto. You have seen they have a lot of good camaraderie, so it means the political climate is all right. So it's up to us to make the economic climate right, Sindio. And once we do that, then we have a win-win situation where we encourage the Chinese to come and set shop here. Why do we want to encourage the Chinese to set shop here? Because we have a big market, the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. We have a big, David, just think about the economy within the African Continental Free Trade Agreement area, about $2.9 billion economy, $1 trillion economy, and 1.4 billion people. I think that's a big enough economy to excite the Chinese. That's almost the population of China. So you're opening what is crowded in China, bring it out here, and we are offering a lot of open hands approach to doing business. As I conclude, and we have agreed, we are not SMEs anymore, we'll be emerging enterprises. So from here, when you leave, you're not an SME, you're not a small, non-important business. You are important because statistics don't lie. We support 90% of the workforce in this country and support 40%, contribute 40% to the GDP. And by the way, far from what people have been told about the emerging enterprises, they also are the biggest contributors of indirect taxes. Indirect taxes. And I challenged Kenya Revenue Authority this morning to start valuing the contribution of the emerging enterprises by way of consumption tax and indirect taxes, and we can outgrow Safaricom anytime, with due respect. We contribute a lot more. But unfortunately, when they are fitting the tax contributors or taxpayers, the emerging enterprises, because they are so small and so unimportant, are left out. From now on, we'll fight for our space and make sure we get what we rightly deserve. And so, with those few remarks, really, I want to declare this event officially opened and invite all of us to ensure we spend quality time here. I know when I go out, I'll probably come back later in the afternoon with jeans and walking shoes, and I'll walk around, because sometimes when you're too formal, then you get stopped by everyone. But thank you very much, and God bless you, God bless China, God bless Kenya, God bless our unity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. James Mureu. Thank you so much, Asante. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, tonight you're invited to, was just here with us, Mr. James Mureu, as well as our other dignitaries who are in our presence today. And I'll be calling them to join us on stage, but I believe you know yourself, so you can make your way. Of course, Harriet Chigai from this ribbon, Mr. David Wang. Mr. David Wang is already there, good. And of course, Mwendro Mutua, if you may. Peter Musyoki, Global Exhibitions Inc., please join us up here. If you are in our midst and I have not called out your name, please be part of this opportunity as we prepare to cut this ribbon. Christine of KNCCI also. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause as we open the doors to new trade possibilities. Please remain there, ladies and gentlemen, as we get photos. We have a photo session, very brief photo session. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you are all our VIPs, and we thank you so much for your time this morning. Next, we will be proceeding across for a guide.